I'm sitting here with Jamie Smith, Executive Director of the Senior Center. Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning.
So tell us what you do here. You're the big boss lady over here. Tell us what your big roles are here. And you're a leader outside of this organization. Tell us what you do outside of here, too.
All right. So I'm the executive director here. So I'm in charge of all day-to-day operations. I serve our board of directors. We have a board of 12 members. I have responsibilities for that. I oversee all of our programs and services and the directors that run those programs. As my staff says, I am in a lot of meetings. I do a lot of meetings. Some days I feel that that's what I get done is attending meetings and getting stuff done that way. Outside of these walls, I'm the president of Tuscarawas, which is an organization here in Tuscarawas County that serves the transit providers, so SEA, Horizons, the Senior Center, and Access Tusk. And then we have our other entities, Tusk DD, Job and Family Services. Those entities are on that board. Many people don't know this, but I'm the director of finance for the Access Tusk organization.
Oh, nice.
So Jessica Kinsey, who's the current executive director there, she started this agency 10 years ago, and she pulled me along as her sidekick. And I have been involved for the last 10 years as a board member, as a treasurer. And then when we took on the transit program, I became the director of finance. So I hold down
You're
two
busy.
jobs. Yes. But I don't remember a time in my career that I didn't have two jobs or overly extended on boards or committees. When you're in the nonprofit world, that's what you do.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You share your talents and your strengths.
Being a woman today and raising a family and also you're working two jobs.
Right.
What kind of battles or hurdles do you think that women today face?
Finding that work-life balance.
Mm-hmm.
And notice I didn't say healthy, because that is even a step. I would love to meet the person who's managed that.
Right.
That they've managed to balance their work and their private life and it be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means, but I'm trying. I'm striving, and I'll tell you. There was no balance. When you're raising kids and you're trying to get to all their sporting events and you're trying to do the classroom mom role, and you're trying to lead an agency, there's no balance.
It's hard.
Yeah, you go where you're needed at the moment. I'll tell you now, empty nesting.
Oh.
I think now I understand where the healthy comes in, because now that I'm not running and chasing my kids, whether they're toddlers or middle schoolers or high schoolers playing sports, I feel like that healthy balance is now coming to me.
Yeah.
Where I can take time for myself and work out or, take a walk, and I don't have a sporting event to go to. Or
I think as moms, we do a lot of putting everyone else before us.
Yes.
And I think that that's hard. Do you think that's more of a gender thing, or do you think that that's just in our nature as women? Or
I don't know. When I met my husband, he was a single dad raising his two children.
Yeah.
The third one was older. He was doing this. He was living the same life I was living.
yeah.
So it didn't matter that he was the dad and I'm the mom.
Mm-hmm.
He was still trying to meet all of his kids' needs as I am, and working full time.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a gender thing. I think it's the expectation we put on ourselves to be the kind of mom that we know our kids deserve.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that has always guided me in my motherhood. I want to be the mom that they look back on and say, you know what, she was tough, but boy, did she teach me a lot.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not going to hear that from them until they're older. But
it'll come.
Actually, Manning, my 19-year-old, moved out, my baby, and he's called me several times and said, Mom, you were right. Or he'll say things, I'm like, oh my God, he was listening to me. Right?
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
So that's rewarding. But the balance,
It's a lot.
it is a lot.
What would you tell a young woman today going into the business for workforce? What would you tell her going forward?
One, always surround yourself with winners. That's probably been a piece of advice that I was given a long time ago that I have held on to. You are what you run with. My mom used to say that all the time when I was growing up. You are what you run with.
Yeah.
So be careful. So that kind of evolved from being a teenager, watching out what social groups I'm with, to now, be with those who are winners. I think another thing I would tell an 18-year-old, relationships are vital to your success. Building good relationships are vital to your success, especially in a community like this. Small
Absolutely.
community, people know me, people know you. If you do something wrong, the whole world knows about it, right? In 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So all of those things play together. Be careful who you run with, surround yourself with winners, and relationships are vital to your success. I have another one too, that always be a cheerleader.
Yeah.
Cheerlead always. You don't have to cut someone down to make you look better. Be professional, be polite, be kind, but
Be uplifting.
yes. Yes.
So if you were to tell your younger self how you got to this career, okay, thinking back to how you got here, what would you tell yourself? What's one little nugget of information or motivation that could kind of get you to stay positive? Or
So I think one negative, when I started out, I set myself a goal that by the time I was 30, I was going to be the executive director of an organization. That I knew from the age of 22, that's what I wanted. That was my goal. And in that goal, I had to learn a lot. I couldn't stay at the same employer for all that time. I needed to learn. And the first agency that I was the director of was Big Brothers Big Sisters. But prior to that, I thought it was going to be a drug and alcohol agency because I had worked in all the different avenues of that. I have received a lot of flack in my career because I've had so many different jobs. And looking back at my 18-year-old self, I would tell myself to do the exact same thing. Do it. If you want to learn your discipline and you want to be good at what you do, you can't stay in the same job for 40 years.
Yeah.
You have to move around. You have to explore. You have to figure out what's a good boss, what's a bad boss.
Yeah.
What kind of boss do you want to be? What kind of leader do you want to be? All of these different personalities and relationships. How do you want to be? And you're only going to learn this stuff by experiencing it. So like I said, I've gotten flack for a while. Where are you at these days? Nothing makes me more angry than to hear that. So where are you at now?
Well, where are you?
But in 30 years, I bet you can ask me something that I don't know about nonprofit. Ask me, right?
Yeah.
That would be my challenge. So I would tell my 18-year-old self, don't change a thing that you did. Because you got yourself where you wanted to be. And yes, I was an executive director. I was 30 years old and 3 months.
Hey, that's okay.
That's right. I made it.
Right.
So I would just say maybe to the 18-year-old, maybe have a little bit more filter than I did then, but
It's confidence.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I never, I've heard people say, well, I'm not going to hire them because look how many jobs they've had in 10 years. Who cares? That tells me that they are adventurous and that they have some confidence and that they are willing to explore.
You are a wealth of knowledge.
Thank you.
And I I could literally sit here and talk to you all day. And I have said that on and off camera. I just think that you're really inspiring. You've
Thank
done a
you.
lot. I think you're very well respected in this community.
Thank you.
And we love having you at JER. When you come over, you're just so fun.
Thank
And you
you.
just have a really good, like, bubbly, positive energy. And I find myself really kind of attracting to that. Not like attracting to that. You know what I mean?
Gravitating towards.
Gravitating. Thank you. But yeah, so
Excellent.
I just I really appreciate everything that you do, not just for
Thank you.
Tuscarawas County, but for everyone.
Thank you.
You really are a good cheerleader. So.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. With me
Thank you
today.
for picking me. I'm so
course.
honored that you picked me.
You truly are one of my favorite people that come into the
Thank
station.
you.
So
I appreciate
yes,
that. Thank you.